So there are literally hundreds of herbal and natural remedies that you could take to keep your body free from sickness and disease and viruses, but they are not all pregnancy safe. So in this video, I'm going to show you some very simple but very potent remedies that you can use if you are pregnant and trying to boost your immune system. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to share some herbs that you can't take while you're pregnant. But if you're watching this and you have no baby and don't plan on having a baby, then you can get some value there. So before I hop into the remedies, I do want to say that the first thing that we can do to keep ourselves healthy is to not be stressed out. There's a lot of fear about the coronavirus right now, and people are freaking out because there's speculations of quarantine, and it seems as though the virus is spreading very quickly and people do not want to catch the coronavirus. We also don't really know much about the coronavirus, so there's a lot of fear of the unknown. Versus if there's a flu or something that we know of, it's not as scary to catch the flu because we know what the flu is about. But because this is so unknown and there's a lot of media hype and everyone is talking about it, we are stressing out. What happens when you become fearful and stressed out is your body goes into the fight-flight response. And it sends all of the blood away from the internal organs and it goes to your extremities, and your heart starts to beat really fast, and digestion shuts down, and the detoxification process in your body shuts down, and all of your energy goes into staying safe. But this fight-flight mechanism, it's great if we're trying to run away from a bear or if we're trying to escape a very scary situation like a building on fire, but it's not helpful when we are experiencing the fight-flight response every single day, day after day after day. That type of chronic stress can deteriorate our health because we keep tricking our body into thinking that, oh, we need to get away from this scary situation, and it takes all of the energy outward instead of having that energy go inward so we can digest our food properly and detoxify properly and be able to have homeostasis within our body. So my first and number one tip is have mindful practices even during times of fear and stress. By being able to meditate or whatever you do to de-stress, whether that be breath work or prayer or mantras, keep doing those things. Those things are still important during this time of pandemic because a healthy body is able to fight off viruses. Even the coronavirus people are recovering from. So keep your mindful meditative practices intact, even though we are at a time of high stress. So the first remedy is ginger, and you've probably heard of this one before if you're pregnant because it is absolutely great for that first trimester nausea when you're constantly feeling sick. But it's also great if you have a congested cough and if you have stuffiness in the nose. It can help release all of that mucus and get it flowing and get it coming out. You can use ginger in a lot of different ways. For me, I like to take the fresh root and slice it up, throw it in the blender with some water, a little bit of cayenne pepper, and some lemons, and I'll blend that up until it's nicely blended and there are no more chunks left. And once I'm finished blending it, I'll just take a nut bag and drain all of the pulp out so that I have a very concentrated ginger juice. And I'll just put that into the refrigerator, and each morning I can add it in to some hot water and make fresh ginger tea. Really simple, really easy, and it really makes a difference with my sinuses. So if you're feeling shivers or if you're feeling that coldness, like the insides are cold, like your bones are cold, this is really good to warm you up from the inside out. So the next remedy is probably my most favorite, which is raw garlic. And it is not my favorite because it tastes good, because if you've ever had raw garlic, it is so spicy and it's so hot, it will burn your tongue. And when you eat it raw, it's intense. Like, that's That's the face you're gonna make if you eat raw ginger, but it is so effective. Raw garlic stimulates the immune system. It also can reduce the duration of any type of cold or flu that you have, and it's really good at breaking up mucus, just like ginger. What I love about raw garlic is that it also has a component that feeds the healthy gut flora, so it's considered a prebiotic. Something to remember when you're using garlic is that it is most potent when you use it in its raw form. So if you cook it, if you put it into a soup or anything that's going to heat it, it'll still be really good for you, but it's going to lose that medicinal potency that can knock out a cold or flu, or at least cut the duration of a cold or flu. I also want to warn you, because it wouldn't be right if I didn't warn you. In order for garlic to fully metabolize, it has to eliminate through the bloodstream, which releases through sweat and your lungs, which means if you start eating a lot of raw garlic, it's highly likely that you're gonna smell like garlic. Now, that's a risk I'm willing to take, because if that's going to keep me healthy and keep me from the viruses and the bacteria and all of those things, I'm gonna go ahead and be garlicky for the day. But I wanna warn y'all so y'all don't come back like, I didn't know I was gonna be stinky. And if you're still not convinced about how awesome garlic is, I'm gonna read you a short passage from this book called The Alchemy of Herbs. One study compared a group of children taking long-releasing garlic extracts with another group of children taking a pharmaceutical drug in the hopes of preventing upper respiratory infections. Those taking the garlic had a 2 to 4-fold reduction in sickness compared with a control group taking a placebo. Incidentally, the pharmaceutical performed no better than the placebo. When I'm using raw garlic to fight off a cold or to cut the duration of a cold, I chop it up really small and I'll mix it with a little bit of honey, and then I just take it to the head, chew it up. And it's pretty rough. I'm telling y'all now, it's very spicy, very hot. That's why I mix it with the honey. But once you get it down, you probably are going to feel better within the next 24 hours. So it's definitely worth it. Give it a try. Another little hack I found is that if you take this minced up garlic and put it on some salad with salad dressing, that can mask the flavor as well. Now, the last pregnancy-safe herb I'm going to tell you about is called echinacea. And there's a little bit of back and forth between whether or not echinacea is safe for pregnant women or not. But I feel comfortable using echinacea because I've heard several midwives recommend it. And also Aviva Ram, who's a midwife and I believe an MD, also recommends it on her website, which I will link down in the description if you want further reading. So echinacea cuts the chance of catching a cold by 58%. So like echinacea plus garlic, basically you're not getting sick. It also has shown to reduce the duration of a cold by a whole day and a half. Now, while I was looking into echinacea, I also found out that there's a certain type of echinacea that is anti-anxiety. So it has effects on the body that can reduce the stress that causes anxiety. Now, this is not the same type of echinacea that has been tested for its anti-cold, anti-flu properties. It's a different type, but I just thought I'd share that. Echinacea has really blown up in its popularity, so it's pretty easy to find in most health food stores, but if you're looking for a place to order from, I will leave a link down below to the echinacea that I like to use. So now I'm going to move on to a couple of herbs that are a little lesser known to have antiviral and antimicrobial properties, but are still very effective. So I'm gonna give them a little shine. So the first one is holy basil, and I was actually surprised to find out that holy basil had antibacterial and antiviral properties, because I've known holy basil to be a great adaptogen, which basically is something that can help your body find homeostasis, and it kind of adapts to whatever you need. Holy basil has anti-anxiety and anti-depression effects, which is why I like to use it. When taken daily, it can really boost the immune system. You will want to use holy basil with caution because it has been shown to have anti-fertility effects on both men and women, which you may or may not want. I actually would love to do a whole video on herbal birth control and herbal contraceptives. So if you would be interested in that, let me know down in the comments. Let's talk about herbal birth control. Moving on to one of the herbs that surprised me the most, thyme. I normally hear thyme in recipes, especially like when you've got like Italian recipes and things, but thyme is actually a great decongestant. And it has the power to clear up upper respiratory infections and inhibit bacterial growth. What's important to remember when using thyme, the preparation and the dose will influence whether or not it has medicinal properties. So if you just take a couple sprinkles of thyme over your food, that is not really going to have the medicinal properties of taking a tincture or some sort of a decoction that was made out of thyme. A sister in the Facebook group who recommended to take thyme oil capsules every day, just like you would take something like elderberry every day, and she says she never gets sick. So if you're not pregnant and you're not trying to conceive, I would definitely consider taking thyme oil to boost up your immune system, especially while everybody is freaking out about the coronavirus. And the last herb is oregano oil. Now, if you go to look for oregano oil and you want to use it in its medicinal form, most health food stores have it in a little tiny tincture bottle, and it is antiviral. It also is traditionally used for fevers and respiratory infection. I also like to use oregano oil in its essential oil form, which can't be ingested but can be diffused into the air or applied topically, and that has really helped me when I have a bad cough that I'm trying to stop. It just magically goes away when I use the oregano oil. So those are just a few of the pregnancy safe and not pregnancy safe herbs that you can look into. But if you can't find those or can't get access to those locally, you can also look into astragalus, cayenne, lemon balm, even using cinnamon or coconut oil. There are so many medicinal properties in everyday foods and everyday herbs. But again, it's all about the dosage and the preparation. That's what really influences how strong the medicinal properties are. Also keep in mind that some of these remedies are best used over a period of time. It's not something that you just take once and everything is fixed. And the last thing I want to say is that just because something is natural and from the earth doesn't mean it's always safe. So check to make sure that the remedies that you're using are safe for you and there are no contraindications if you're pregnant or if you're taking certain medications. If you haven't already, I would love if you would subscribe to this channel if you like this content. On this channel, I talk all about natural birth and natural mothering and natural remedies, as you can see. So if you're into that type of thing, then definitely stick around. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.